Two players, each a legend in their own right. Marco Reus and Toni Kroos will face off in some capacity during the Champions League final at Wembley, 11 years on from when their respective teams faced each other in the Champions League final in that very same stadium. Kroos was unavailable through injury, Reus played the full 90 minutes, where a late winner from Arjen Robben provided what would become the theme of Marco Reus's football career. So close, so agonizingly close, and yet so far. This will also be the end of the road to varying degrees in their club careers. For Kroos, it's his final match as a professional at the club level. For Reus, it will be his final match for Borussia Dortmund. And for neutrals, when it comes to the 2024 Champions League final, it will be a bit of a sad coin flip. Who do you want to see ending things on a high? One ending their club career completely with full retirement on the horizon, the other simply moving on from his boyhood club that he spent the majority of his life at, with far fewer trophies than his career deserves. One will want to win to cap off a glittering career, the other to go out with a feeling of retribution for all of the near misses. Marco Reus has had one of the most unlucky careers that you could imagine. It's a career marred with injuries, some precluding him from winning silverware, a career of just falling short, but also a career of staying loyal to the club that made you, while unfortunately playing in the same era of an all-conquering machine like Bayern Munich. Reus is almost a victim not only of his injuries, but of his own devotion to Borussia Dortmund in a sense. And trust me, that is not a negative thing, although it kind of sounds like it. But given the quality that Reus possesses, he has had no shortage of suitors throughout his career, both in Germany and outside of it, La Liga, Premier League, etc. He could have made the easy play to join Bayern Munich, for example, but he spoke of how he would never do that, and he never did. A player keeping their word is rare. This isn't to say that anyone who leaves their boyhood club in order to compete for titles is a scumbag, by the way, not at all. Having that ambition is never a negative thing. I'm just saying that with how many players say one thing and then do another, it's nice to see some players stick to their word, that their dreams of lifting the Bundesliga trophy with their boyhood club override any desires to do it elsewhere. What seems beyond belief is that Marco Reus has never won a league title in his career, not once. He's had near misses all along though. He returned to Borussia Dortmund to play under Klopp during their peak, signing in January of 2012. Borussia Dortmund won the league during the 2011-12 season, but Reus wasn't there. He didn't join them until July of that year. Therefore, he didn't win the league. The next season, 2012-13, Bayern Munich swung back with a vengeance, winning the league and the Champions League and leaving Dortmund in their dust. The other closest, and perhaps even more heartbreaking, was how close Borussia Dortmund came to a title in the 2022-23 season. With the title in their hands, they just had to get the same result as Bayern Munich, and they failed to do so, drawing with Mainz and ceding the title to Bayern on goal difference. That hurts, man. Reus was so close to that title that he's wanted so badly for Dortmund. The photos after that failure in front of the yellow wall, I mean, damn. And his bad luck stretches to the international level as well, to the German national team. In 2014, Reus was in great form and was one of Germany's top talents heading into the World Cup in Brazil. The tournament prior, Euro 2012, he had established himself as one of the main choices to come off of the bench, but Germany fell in the semifinals of the 2012 competition. Remember Balotelli in that tournament scoring those goals against Germany? Anyway, in a friendly prior to the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, Marco Reus injured his ankle and was substituted. It was then revealed that he would be out for the tournament because of that ankle injury. And well, you know the story of the 2014 World Cup. Germany would go on to win it against Argentina in the final, so no World Cup medal for Marco Reus. Not sure if his teammates holding his shirt aloft during the celebrations would make things easier for him or much more difficult. I would guess it's the latter. Reus also missed out on the Euro 2016 and Euro 2020 due to injuries. The 2018 World Cup, the Germany Collapse Cup, was one of the few international tournaments he got to play in. It's fair to say that he's been a bit cursed. 2 Pokals and a few German Super Cups are not representative of the quality player that Marco Reus is. Toni Kroos, on the other hand, has had plenty of moments where he's been the second team on the final stage, receiving the winning medal, not the runners-up. His trophy haul is a testament to his quality, it co-signs for it, rather than having him feel like someone who has deserved much more throughout their career. There are different kinds of challenges. The challenge that Marco Reus chose was to try to win the Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund, a difficult challenge during the Bayern dominance era. Toni Kroos, on the other hand, chose to join one of the biggest clubs in the world in Real Madrid with the most pressure and try to be a top player for them as long as possible. Also a very difficult challenge, given the players in the squad that you would have to compete with and how Real Madrid is the club that has the means and the allure to replace you with a top player in your position should your performances start to slip. Kroos arrived at Bayern Munich, however, when he was 16 and made his debut at the age of 17. He actually arrived at Bayern during a strange era for the club, at least in comparison to their dominant era that came after. He won the Bundesliga with them in 2008, then had to wait years for his next Bundesliga title, but in that time he became one of the best central midfielders in the Bundesliga, as well as a German national team mainstay. After the bitter disappointment of losing the Champions League final to Chelsea at home in the Allianz Arena in 2012, coupled with losing the Bundesliga to Klopp's Dortmund, Bayern bounced back to win the Champions League and the Bundesliga under Jupp Heynckes. In fact, they won every single competition they were in that season, including the Pokal and the German Super Cup, which is just crazy. In the next season under Guardiola, they won the Bundesliga and the Pokal, but fell in the semi-finals against eventual winners, Real Madrid, and Kroos' next club. Well, it was nearly Manchester United before Moyes left and Van Gaal had a different plan. That was a close one. But anyway, I think that Kroos would agree with me when I say that in the end, he made the right choice. The midfield trio of Modric, Casemiro, and Kroos would go on to become one of the most iconic midfield trios in football history. He started his Real Madrid trophy haul with the 2014 Club World Cup, where Kroos led that tournament in assists. Next on the list, the 2015-16 Champions League, and then the one after that, and the one after that. While also winning La Liga and some other Club World Cups, a Supercopa in Spain, a couple UEFA Super Cups, just non-stop winning cups with Real Madrid, as he was central to their golden era, which hasn't really come to an end yet. Where Ronaldo was scoring boatloads of goals for them, Kroos was never allowing his passing accuracy to dip below 92% throughout his entire Real Madrid career. He was picking up assists, he was launching counterattacks with his aimbot passing, and winning more and more trophies. Of course, he also won the World Cup with Germany in 2014 and was considered one of the best performers in that tournament with 2 goals and 4 assists, playing every single minute of Germany's tournament. At his final match at the Bernabeu this past weekend, he posed alongside Florentino Perez with the 22 trophies that he had won at Real Madrid alone. For such a special player, one of the best midfielders in the history of the game, he has certainly received the trophies that speak to his ability, that back it up, and the central role he had in winning all of them. Football doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't just reward you for being a good player or pay you back for some hard luck that you've had over the years. Anything you want from it, you and your teammates have to take for yourselves. Marco Reus never chose to take the easy route to win some silverware in his career, even though he absolutely had the opportunities to go elsewhere and do so. In his very special case, you do feel as though football does almost owe him something. Remember, he was also forced out of the 2014 World Cup, which Germany of course won after he suffered an ankle injury 1 week prior to the tournament. On the other hand, you have Toni Kroos, a player who has been at the apex of football and winning the trophies that come with playing at that level for over a decade now. He's played in elite teams for Bayern, Germany, and Real Madrid, playing an integral role for each in their victories, winning the World Cup, 5 Champions League titles thus far, and multiple league and domestic cup titles. Any player can have a big match or even a big season at the highest level, but to stay there for over a decade is what separates the average player from a legend. So you have one of these guys almost fighting for a trophy that is owed to him in some ways, while the other is fighting to cap off a brilliant career in a way that his legacy deserves, to go out with a win and to hoist himself into the conversation of one of the greatest midfielders in football history. So it's really an impossible choice for neutrals, as each are deserving of this victory. Me personally, in my opinion, I'd hate to see Kroos end his club career with a loss. It's a shit way to end it, but he has 5 other Champions League titles and enough silverware to fill an apartment at this point. So while it may feel like lame reasoning, I'd rather see Marco Reus end a final, his final match with Borussia Dortmund, with some happy tears, rather than the sad ones that we've seen him spill across his career. That's just my opinion though. Be sure to let me know yours in the comments below. Really curious to see where you guys stand on this one. I feel it may come down to either anti-Real Madrid versus Real Madrid supporters, but hey, we'll see, right? Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Adrian, and I'll see you for another video very soon. Take care.